Hi, I'm Holden Caulfield. I'm 16 years old. I go to Pensy Prep in Pennsylvania. Pensy is my fourth school. I've failed at 3 others. However, I was just expelled from Pensy and I'm not scheduled to go home until Wednesday. I live in Manhattan, in New York, with my mother, father, and little sister Phoebe. Before leaving Pensy, I wanted to visit my elderly history teacher, Mr. Spencer, to say goodbye. But when that phony tried to reprimand me for my poor academic performance, I got sore and went back to my dorm. And get this, when I get back to my dorm, my unhygienic neighbor, Ackley, and my own roommate, the handsome Stradlater, try to annoy me even more. The audacity. Old Stradlater went on a date with a friend of mine, Jane Gallagher. He wouldn't tell me anything about it. I was starting to get really upset. Then Stradlater just decided to bloody me up out of nowhere. I decided I'd had enough of Pensy. I was going to go back to Manhattan right now on a train. I decided to stay in a hotel and not tell my parents I was back. When I got off the train in Manhattan, I went to a phone booth and considered calling several people, but for various reasons, I decided against it. I called the cab and had the driver take me to the Edmond Hotel, where I decided to check myself in for the next couple of days. After smoking a couple cigarettes, I called Faith Cavendish, a woman I never met but whose number I got from an acquaintance at Princeton. I remember she used to be a stripper, and I thought I could persuade her into having sex with me. At first, she was annoyed by the call, but eventually suggested that we meet the next day. I didn't want to wait that long, and hung up without arranging anything. After I got off the phone with Faith, I decided to go downstairs to the lavender room. I sat at a table and ordered a drink, but the waiter wouldn't serve me. Something about being a minor. So I ordered a Coke anyway. Nevertheless, I danced with this blonde girl, and after seeing how well she danced, I was half in love. We sat down, and after making some wisecracks about my age, she left, letting me pay her whole tab. Anyway, I woke up on Sunday and called Sally Hayes, an attractive girl whom I dated in the past. We arranged to meet for a matinee showing of Broadway play at the Biltmore Hotel. After the play, we went to Radio City to skate on ice, but we both sucked and ended up sitting at a table instead. I tried to urge her to run away with me to Massachusetts or Vermont and live in a cabin. When she refused, I called her a pain in the ass. She refused then to listen to my apologies and left. I was feeling pretty down after that, so I met a buddy at the Wicker Bar. We drank quite a lot. I left the bar pretty drunk and then telephoned Sally Hayes about our Christmas Eve plans. After that horrendous idea, I decided to go try to find the lagoon in Central Park, which took forever while drunk. After finding it, I was so cold, I decided to go back to my apartment, where my parents and Phoebe were. Once I snuck into Phoebe's room, she seemed pretty happy to see me. But then she figured out I was kicked out of Pensy, and she got really angry. I got to tell her my fantasy about being the catcher in the rye. I could catch little children as they were about to fall off a cliff while playing. My parents then came home from whatever party they were at, and I decided I needed to leave before they found me. Phoebe was pretty unhappy, but she stuck up for me and hid me. I called one of the only decent people I know, my former English teacher, Mr. Antonelli. He told me I could come to his apartment and spend the night. We talked for a while about where I had been and what I'd done, and he gave me some really good life advice that I will always appreciate and look back on. After our chat, he told me I could sleep on the couch, and imagine this. I woke up to find none other than Mr. Antonelli stroking my forehead in the middle of the night. What a creep. I got up out of there as fast as I could and just went anywhere else. I ended up going to Grand Central Station and sleeping on a bench for the whole night, listening to trains go past. The next day, however, Phoebe met me at the museum. We walked to the zoo and I bought her a ticket to a carousel. Boy, that was wonderful. If only you could have seen her. Her face was lit up and she was having the time of her life. And well, that's the end of this story. In the fall, I'll go on to another school. And maybe I'll do a little better. But hey, I don't have high hopes.